Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, do I have some mammoth news. What a shock this extreme bit of news is. And look, the Colombians aren't a force to mess with, so don't rush to conclusions because it's been a rough ride or they haven't had an indoor football revolution. Columbus looks to take flight, and like a rising empire, flashing like thunder of the cavalry riding on the backs of Mustangs. And unlike all these teams I've been mentioning, they're in no danger of folding or on edge of getting the axe, men. Like law, death, and taxes, they're still coming for you. And though it's been a rough league to play in, they've made it through another year. And I'm here to announce progress toward better things. So, without further ado, I give you the new league affiliate of your Columbus Lions. Drum roll. Look, I know what you're thinking. A lot of you thought it was going to be the Indoor Football League, and as cool as that would be, I don't know what the decision-making was involved in this process, but I know some people that were. And come to think of it, I'm late, and since I have no watch, I don't know how late I am. But let's go talk to the Columbus Lions owners, shall we? Please welcome Richard Maslia and Kacee Smith. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for doing this, Dukon.
You just win a championship. Then you decide the league you're part of has too long of an acronym, AIFA, and you decide you need to knock off the A, and you go AIF. At that rate, you win this year's championship. Next year after that, you'll be just AI, and that's bad for everybody.
That's going to be too confusing.
All right. And now on a serious note, there's several viable leagues that are out there that you could have chosen from. Can you guys, each of you, take a turn talking about what led to your decision in choosing the AIF?
I heard a few months ago that the AIF had a good chance of coming back, and very familiar with that league, their brand. John Morris, know what they've done in the past. They've built solid leagues. I and also Richard and the Lions organization kind of align with their idea and strategy of a league as far as the number of games they play, the budget, the operation, the salary cap. Everything kind of aligns with like what we vision and what if we were going to like create our own league. If we just they kind of have that template there for us that we liked, and so with them it was us, and of course we talked to everyone. We looked around, and but I think at the end of the day, this is what made sense the most for the Lions organization, our players, coaches, fans, and sponsors, and community as a whole.
And I think the types of teams that so far that have joined the league and that we are joining, we feel that are similar to us, and it's going to be a compatible league. And again, like Kacee was saying about the game structure, it just seemed to be a better fit for us. We're coming from a 7-game season. And we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. And we feel very comfortable with the season and the 10 games that they're going to have, and hopefully playoffs.
Great. That was what my next question was, how many games? So 10-game season. The AIF, they started back in 2005 and have had some decent success through the years. And there was a certain event in 2016, a Columbus Lions beatdown of the West Michigan Ironmen for the championship that was so bad that the AIF ceased operations until now. Are you guys the reigning AIF champs? Can you tout that?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we put it like that. We are. So it would be nice to win it the year they went down a little while, and to win it the year they come back. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. That was way before my time, but yeah, that's going to be very nice to come back and
keep going
where the Lions were.
Did you know you were?
I knew that they were a champion. I didn't know that was the last league. So that's interesting. We'll have to talk offline about that. That was last year of the league. that's interesting.
So far of the AIF teams that have been announced, West Virginia Miners, you've got 2 Iowa teams and a Corpus Christi team that have been announced. Travel's always a concern. So for the fans that are concerned about the travel for the Columbus Lions, those are all 13-plus hour trips. There's another team that's going to be a little bit closer. We can get to that later. But how are you guys feeling about the teams that are going to be in the AIF so far?
Well, I'll speak to travel in case maybe we speak to competition. But we feel at the end of the day, one of the good things about 5 home games and 5 road games, it's only 5 road games. So worst case, maybe we're having 1 flight, maybe 2. But we feel there'll be at least 3 or 4 teams that will be drivable. Again, in a 14-game season, somewhere where you have 7 games, there may be a lot more travel. We've seen that. So we're comfortable. We think Wheeling we could drive to. I think Wheeling is about, what do we think, Kacee? About 10, 11 hours. I think that's
11,
drivable.
something like that, maybe, yeah.
I think it's drivable. And then there are a couple other teams that you may know about that will be coming on soon. We believe that will be much closer. So we're excited about that.
I know Wheeling's got Coach Rez up there. He's chomping at the bit to have a little fight with the Lions. Would you want to talk about that?
Definitely. So Wheeling, that area it's a great football area. I think Coach Rez is going to do a phenomenal job fielding a very competitive team. So right off the bat, you're going to get a good one there. Corpus Christi, that's one area with good history of indoor arena football. I love that arena. I love playing there. They have great fan base. They're very loyal, passionate there. And so I know that's going to be another good one. The other 2 markets I'm probably not as familiar with as the other ones. But with this style, how the AIF is kind of building this league and the 2 forward motion receivers, and that it's going to create a lot of wide open play. And, it's going to be interesting to see how some of the coaches adapt to coming from the single forward motion, the more arena style versus the indoor style. So I can't wait to watch it, watch the cream rise to the top, so to speak.
Are you bringing Coach McKinney back?
Yes. Yeah. So Coach McKinney is coming back for next season. Yep.
Good deal. So another question I had for you guys, the sponsors that the AIF has gotten so far are some pretty good sponsors. And some of the teams have been announcing some team sponsors. So they seem like they're getting off on the right foot here. Is this something that you feel good enough as a multi-year, yes, we're in for several years, or is this, let's try the AIF, see how it does, and reevaluate after the season?
Well, from my standpoint, and I think Richard and I align pretty well with this, is at the end of the day, it's always what's best for the Columbus Lions organization. And so that will always be reevaluated, but we don't want to be league hopping, like we would love to set roots in the league long term, like the NAL. Our fans got to know the teams in that league. You get to establish rivalries, and so we hope that that's what happens. And I really feel like it will with the AF. Like you mentioned, they got some incredible sponsors lined up, so I'm really excited to see how that plays out. And what I love is when I talk to them, it's all about the business of the sport. And so when I was telling them, I said, look, when I get on league calls, we go to league meetings, the last thing I care to talk, and I'm a huge football fan, last thing I care to talk about is X's and O's. I want to talk about sales and marketing. Like that's what drives this business, and that's what everyone has to be locked in on.
No, I'm excited about the league. I was really impressed. I didn't know a whole lot about it. And so obviously for the last few weeks, I've learned a lot. And like almost every day they're bringing on a new person, a new full-time person to do this or do marketing, social media. And then, like you said, like the sponsors, there's other leagues that, you see starting up, and then sometimes you don't see a whole lot out of them. I'm not going to mention any names, but I've just been real impressed. I mean, they've come out on fire, and, they've talked with some teams. They're like, you know what? We're not going to announce a team until it's done, until they've signed on the dotted line. And that's it. We've seen other leagues will announce a team, and then sometimes something doesn't go through, and they're doing it very methodically. And I'm very impressed with how they're doing things. So very excited. This
last season, you kind of acted behind the scenes for much of the season. And then it came out that, hey, you're a Columbus Lions owner. My question is, are you planning on doing a lot more hands-on things this coming season?
I think it will be more hands-on, but Kacee is our president. He is going to be really the face of the organization. and they'll bounce ideas off of me on some of the larger ideas that we have to, or decisions we have to make. I'll be involved in that. But Kacee's our day-to-day man. He's got so much more experience than I have, even though I've got a few more years on him. He's been doing this for 20 years, Kacee. So with
too long,
50 different leagues and 20 teams. I mean, so it's best that he is the one that, does the legwork. But yeah, I'll get involved with them too.
In a previous interview, you had mentioned you have been a commissioner of a league before. Was it the AIF?
No. So, looking back at maybe 2014, 2013, I can't remember exactly when we started the league, but we called it the X League. And what's interesting with the AIF is the year that my partner and I decided to exit football. The teams that were in our league merged with the AIF. We worked that out with John, and then they played then too. So John and I kind of go way back, and that's a big thing. Is like I just know how he's going to run things, and that makes us feel comfortable. He's very professional. He's going to run a tight ship, and now I'm one to kind of like bark back a little bit with some stuff. I want to be heard, but at the same time, I want to be in a league that's going to run things tight and organized and structure. And it's so important in this. And it's fair to every team, every ownership group, and every market. So
didn't see this coming, to be honest with you. It came out of nowhere, and it's really, really exciting to see you guys take this step. Is there anything else you want to tell fans?
I mean, no, I think we're real excited about this move here, and especially excited about what this league is going to be. I mean, I think over the next few weeks, you're going to see more teams joining and a lot of excitement building up. So, stay tuned. Please, follow us if you don't. Follow the league, the AIF, on Facebook and social media, because they're doing a lot of great things.
I hope the fans are excited about this as we are. We ended the season strong. I mean, 4,500 fans in the Lions Den on the last game. That was awesome. So I hope to see you all back next season. The level of competition is going to go up. That's right, the ninth man. We had a lot of ninth man on that last game. So yes, like Richard said, please follow us, keep up to date with us. There's gonna be a lot of good transactions going on. We'll be announcing new partners and sponsors as the season goes on, but we'd love to pack it back out next season and then hopefully try to win another championship.
I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be following this the whole way through. Excited. Just
Thank you.
The ninth man. Wow.
That's
exciting.
awesome.
Guys, thank you so much for jumping on. It's Richard Maslia, Kacee Smith, the great owners of the Columbus Lions, who are now proud members of American Indoor Football. Go Lions. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.